Hello, have you been thinking about buying one of the bigger aggressor ships? This video covers 4 of the big aggressors in the $200 price range, which seems to be asked about the most. There's a lot of data about each ship, variants of the ship, what it can do, does it meet expectation, which is better than which, and should I buy this one or the other one? Which is the best big fighter? We can look at the specifications, how many guns, how big are the guns, missiles, range, crew, does it have cargo space too? Can it carry torpedoes? Can I fly it now? Does it require multi-crew? Can the pilot sew it and have guns controllable by the pilot? How well do the turrets work? What do I need to know about these ships? Really, it isn't going to be that difficult to make a choice, and I think I can help you. So let's move along now to the smallest ship in the list. The Redeemer is kind of up in the air right now. As time goes by, the dev team learns new stuff and the bigger picture gets clearer to them as how best to make each ship, balance the ship for its role, and what exactly is the reasonable range of flexibility a ship can have and not be overpowered. We know the Redeemer is going to see the results of all the new thinking the dev team will have attained in their creation processes, so we cannot be too sure what we will have until we have it. This ship has been hangar art for a while now. Their artist involved is deep into doing the Squadron 42 stuff, so the Redeemer isn't going to see any progress right away. Per concept, the function of this ship is to be a gunship and troop landing craft, plus some cargo capacity and a long-range flight capability. As the winner of the next great starship, the Four Horsemen, artists responsible for the initial concept drawings won a $30,000 prize for it. The ship is a gunship, and its size reminds me of those really big, heavily armored attack helicopters. Basically, if you like the artwork and concept and want to give SIG some more money to help development, I'm confident this is going to be a great gunship sometime in the future. In the meantime, you get loaner ships. This is maybe the single best reason to contribute for a Redeemer now. The Redeemer is expected to be a really awesome gunship that could be useful as a troop dropship or even a convoy escort. Since the Redeemer isn't flight ready, you get an Andromeda loaner to fly in the PU until it is ready. Also, since the Andromeda isn't able to go into Arena Commander, you get a Hornet loaner to stand in for the non-flight ready Redeemer. So for the price of the Redeemer, while waiting on the Redeemer to be flight ready, you get the Redeemer for your hangar, an Andromeda, Merlin, and base Hornet. So that wraps up the Redeemer. Let's move to the next ship in line. The Warden is a long-range fighter and has other variants, including a heavy bomber and an EMP carrying model. I've soloed Vandal Swarm in the Warden and easily done the ICC missions in it. I really like the Aegis designed ships, but some complain the design isn't what they think it should be. Actually, there's a long thread where the Warden owners have stated opinions and what they like to see the Warden become. Dev has responded and there are expectations to be revisions to the Warden. The ballistic Gatling looks nice, but its velocity does not match that of the 4 size 2 nose lasers. First thing I do is replace the ballistic Gat with the M7A size 5 laser cannon.
Aegis Bat Assist activated. Systems green. Begin scan.
The Retaliator has 5-man turrets, whereas the Andromeda and the Redeemer only have 2-man turrets. The Warden only has 1-man turret. This is significant as the Retaliator only has manned turrets and no guns controllable by the pilot. The pilot is responsible for flying the ship as a steady firing platform for the turret operators which defend the ship. The pilot also is responsible for delivering the 6 size 5 torpedo payload. Almost 100% of the feedback I've found regarding the Retaliator and turret effectiveness indicates a fair consensus that the turrets right now don't perform the way most would like them to perform. This perspective is a significant issue with the Retaliator, as it leaves the Retaliator in a bad situation for defenses. On the SC forum, in the Let's Talk About the Retaliator thread, Dev has assembled lengthy notes summarizing what the Retaliator community would like done. There is a wide range of opinions regarding solutions. We don't know any more at this point than Dev is reviewing Retaliator revisions. Since the pilot cannot do any more than fire torpedoes and fly the ship, the Retaliator really should have crew to man the turrets. So it is more in need of crew than the other ships in the video lineup and the lesser soloable ship. There is an upper deck to the Retaliator where there is access to the forward upper turret, gun racks, and 6 beds for the crew. There is a separate captain's quarters on the main deck just behind the pilot's cabin and next to the upper deck ladder. There is a base model Retaliator and a bomber variant. Concept data shows the Retaliator has cargo space. It also indicates there are modules for the Retaliator. A cargo module, living space module, and dropship module may be seen at a future date. I really like the artwork for the Retaliator, though it isn't a ship I can do much more than take for a joyride at this time. I'm eager to see what it becomes as time and development progresses.
To the baseline.
Our final ship in the lineup is the Constellation Andromeda. Concept data for the Andromeda states, when you think handsome bounty hunter making his own way in a galaxy of enemies, you think Constellation. The Andromeda is, as is other ships in this lineup, considered a multi-crew ship. It is also classed as a multifunctional ship. The Andromeda has 2-man turrets and plenty of size 1 and size 2 missiles, but the 4 M7A size 5 laser cannons at the pilot's control have been all I typically use to melt my targets. There is also a Let's Talk About the Constellation SC forum thread, which is very short, so that implies there are not many change requests made for it. This ship, in every encounter I have had so far, has been completely soloable, and I love it. The ship is not just a freighter, it is a multi-function ship for its focus classification and can fight surprisingly well for the big ship it is. There's plenty of room in this ship. It sleeps 4, has living space for the crew, and a cargo bay that is big enough to carry a rover ground vehicle. The cargo bay floor is a lift that lowers to the ground so that a rover can be carried and deployed from it. The Andromeda also comes with a Merlin snub fighter, which adds a support fighter attached with the ship. The Merlin can be used for fighting, scouting, or distracting an enemy so that the Andromeda can make its way around trouble unnoticed. I've soloed Vandal Swarm in a Merlin and found it useful if you are resourceful with it. Out of these 4 ships, my opinion is that number 4 is the Redeemer because it is not flight ready, isn't being worked on, and we don't know what it'll become once work restarts and balance passes are made on it, whenever that will be. It is expected to be a powerful gunship when it is ready, with an impressive toughness per the concept data about gun hardpoints and shield rating. That's old data though, and we're just left guessing. Number 3 is the Retaliator, because it is flight ready, but the least useful flyable ship in the lineup. You have to have crew to defend it. The pilot and ship just are not given thought to solo crew options. Even if crewed, the turrets are questionable as to the usefulness, and many contend turrets are simply not effective or in the current state a wise choice over other pilot-controlled guns and fighter craft options. The argument is, it is better to have 5 associates and 5 separate fighter craft than 5 crew in a single ship and armed with the lacking effectiveness of turrets in the current state. Number 2 is the Vanguard Warden, but preferably the Vanguard Harbinger when it is a purchase option. The Warden is flight ready, can be effectively used solo, and that places it above number 3 and 4 due to it is a big aggressor ship that can actually be flown and fight right now. Number 1 is the Andromeda, because it is more useful and those 4 size 5 guns and many times more missiles than the Warden, plus the snub fighter and cargo space just outclass the other ships. I own all 4 of these ships and intend to keep them, so as time goes by and rework progresses, if anything changes, I'll make a new video to help show what develops.